everybody, and I want to welcome everyone to this episode of the Booze Geek. My name is Chuck, and I am your host. So this episode, this is part 2 of our Dogfish Head Brewing Portfolio Tasting Extravaganza. So, quick recap. On that first episode, we tasted and reviewed Dogfish Head's 60-minute IPA. On this episode, we're going to extend the boil time. We're going to be tasting and reviewing Dogfish Head's 90-minute IPA. So this beer is a little bit similar, but a little bit different than the 60-minute as well. So this beer is a continuously hopped Imperial IPA. So the boil time has been extended by 30 minutes. So we have a 90-minute boil time, and this beer clocks in at pretty Imperial 9% ABV, and it's also got a pretty Imperial IBU of 90. So yeah, everything is just bumped up a notch. So I'm going to keep the fun train rolling, and let's crack the top on this one, and let's see what we got here. So here we go. Yeah, why not? Let's do this. 1, 2. Boom, boom. Ooh, this one we got a little bit of smoke out of. We didn't get any smoke out of the 60-minute. This one's a little bit of smoke. But let's get a 90-minute pour here. Okay. That should do it for a 90-minute pour. Maybe, maybe not. But anyways, color-wise, ooh, okay, right off the bat, color-wise, this one's very effervescent as well. Color-wise, this one's almost getting into amber territory. This is a dark gold, and there is a tinge of an orangish amber coming through. So yeah, a little bit darker color, but we still have one finger veil of carbonation on top. So let's give this one a swirl, and see what we have aroma-wise. Here we go. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Nose number 1, baby. Okay, well, right off the bat, some richer aromas. A little bit similar, but richer coming through, a little bit more potent. So we are getting some grapefruit. We're also getting some pininess coming through. And another nose here. A little bit of earthiness as well. And one more quick nose. Here we go. And it's also rounded out by the cereal grains. So, a little bit similar, a little bit different. But the aromas are definitely coming through a little bit more potent than on the 60-minute IPA. And before I sip this, really quickly, out of these two, this beer was actually created first, the 90-minute. And then a couple years later, I believe this was 2001, then a couple years later, 2003, they created the 60-minute. So a little bit of different, So it's interesting that this was first and then the 60-minute. But here we go. A little bit of useless trivia. But sip number 1, here we go. Swirl, 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 sip number 1 on the 90-minute IPA. PROST to Dogfish Head, PROST to the 90 minutes. Here we go. Sip number 1. Okay, well, straight out of the gate, full-bodied beer. This definitely has a weightier mouthfeel than the 60-minute. Yeah, this is a full-bodied beer. Can't even contest that. But what do we have flavor-wise? Well, we have this one, we're definitely getting some pine coming through, like on the nose. We're also getting a little bit of citrus. I'm going to say, give me another sip. I want to see if I can get more specific. There is some just notes of a generic citrus, but there's also yeah, I'm going to say it's almost like a bitter grapefruit pith. Not much. It's there. But, right now, realistically, overall, is that pininess that is coming through. Definitely rounded out by the cereal grains. And one more. Yeah, and just a hint of grassiness is coming through as well. But one thing I really have to admit, being at 9%, this is not drinking like a 9% beer. This is really, really easy drinking, man. Really easy drinking. The 60-minute was a 6% ABV. This is drinking more like a 7% ABV. there is no booziness on the back end. But, I mean, this is one of those beers, you have a few of these, that 9%, that'll creep up on you. Like, there's no tomorrow, man. This is, yeah, no tomorrow. This is good. Now, what would I give this on the pint-o-meter? Now, what I will say is similar to the 60-minute. I think the balance is nice, but once again, I wish all those flavors and aromas were kind of bumped up a little bit more. I wish the nose had a little bit more of that citrus coming through. I wish the the flavors had a little bit more of that citrus coming through. I mean, this one is definitely pine forward on the nose and on the palate, but even with that being said, I think they could be brought up a little bit. Just a bit. But on the pint-o-meter, I think I'm going to give this beer... an 8. I definitely think this one is more refined than the 60-minute. And there's definitely... this one has a little bit more depth going on. So, yeah. I think everyone should run out and buy a 6-pack of the 60-minute and of the 90-minute. And then compare them both. So... I'm going to take one more sip. Now, on the next episode, on the penultimate episode, we are going to extend the boil time even longer. So, we're going to be tasting and reviewing Dogfish Head's 120-minute IPA, eh? 120 minutes. So, make sure y'all return for this episode. And this is the big daddy of the three. So with that, I'm going to wrap this episode up. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And as always, you can follow me at the websites, which are www.pubsefapinton.com, or the blog, which is www.pubsefapinton.blogspot.com. We will see you next time. Raise that pint. Cheers. Prost. And enjoy.